It's a high-protein mac and cheese. It's mainly
Okay.
based in cottage cheese.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, with sharp cheddar and Parmigiano Reggiano and a few other stuff and
Okay.
a lot of chicken. So it's like bodybuilder mac and cheese or whatever.
Okay.
Are we recording? Yeah. All right. Because I know you said you had a little bit of time.
Yeah.
Okay. You understand how it goes? So I
Yeah.
guess we'll just get started. What is it that you believe? Tell me what you want to talk about.
Yeah, I think for me it's faith,
Okay.
specifically religion. I'm a Christian, so that's
Okay.
super important to me.
All right. It helps if we put in like a positive claim, like you were saying that this thing is true.
Yeah.
So
So like Jesus is the Son of God.
Jesus, Son of God, or yeah, if you want, we can do that.
Yeah.
It can be whatever you want.
Yeah, that works.
Jesus is Son of God.
Or maybe a more interesting way to go would be Jesus is the way to heaven. Is that I'm fine either way.
Either one. You pick.
Okay, let's do the second one. Jesus is the way
Jesus
to heaven.
is the way to heaven. All right. So, what kind of Christian are you? Do you have a denomination that you like?
I'm non-denominational, so I think where I would probably identify the most would be evangelical Christian. But
Okay. Yeah, close to the evangelical side. All right. It's like getting a gauge.
yeah, for sure.
Okay. So I think I know what you mean. Because sometimes people they say when you're talking to them, they what sort of Christian are you? And it turns out they're not. They don't mean Jesus the way you mean
Yeah,
Jesus.
for sure.
So
Yeah.
gotta figure that stuff out. How confident on a scale of 0 to 100
Yeah,
do you think that Jesus is the way to heaven?
100.
100.
Yeah.
So a confident 100.
Yeah.
Is there anything that could make you more confident that Jesus is the way to heaven?
I think I have all the evidence that I need. There's things that help remind me of that. Like when things happen in my life and I feel like, man, there's no other way that could have happened except for God.
Okay.
I feel like it is more of a confirmation, but I don't think there's kind of the opposite of that question. I don't think there's anything that could make me believe that it's not true at this point.
Okay. So you say you're 100% confident.
Yeah.
Does that mean that you cannot be wrong
About this specific topic?
about this specific point? Jesus is the way to heaven.
Like if someone had a different opinion, I would think that's wrong.
Well, if someone is 100% confident,
Yeah.
does that mean that can a person who's 100% confident be wrong about what they believe?
I would say about this, no, I don't think I could be wrong. About other things, yes, 100%.
Okay. Why is this thing different than those other things?
Yeah. I think for me, it's a combination of different things. It's my own life experience, what I believe that history has to say in the Bible. And so it's tying in a few important things that, I feel like it's the personal experience and the historical background tying it together that
Okay.
makes it feel real, or makes it real.
If you didn't have your life experience,
Yeah.
would you believe that Jesus was the way to heaven?
I want to say yes, but I think it would be more complicated.
So, let's say that you didn't have your experience.
Yeah.
What do you think if you're at 100% now, what percentage do you think you would be if you didn't have your experience?
Didn't have any experience with.
Yeah, whatever it was. Well,
Can you ask the question one more time?
So you said that you gave a few reasons why you believe that Jesus is the way to heaven.
Yeah.
The first one is life experience.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's an event or
Yeah.
just in general, everything you've seen, event.
An event, yeah.
Okay. So, and that sounded to me like that was the biggest one.
Yeah.
And then you said the history
Yeah.
was like a second reason, and then you said the Bible itself like
Yeah.
is like a third reason.
Yeah.
So those are like your top three.
Yeah.
Okay. And so I was going to look at the first one, life experience.
Yeah.
And so if you didn't have that experience, how confident would you be that Jesus is the way to heaven?
I would say not confident.
Okay. Well, you
Yeah.
said you're at 100 at the beginning.
Yeah.
Where do you think you would be?
Numbers wise, like pretty low. Because I don't know if this makes sense, but like, I think the thing that draws me to Jesus is like how he interacts with us as humans. And so take that out of it, and you lose a really integral part of what it is.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So you think maybe 30%
Yeah.
you'd be? All right,
Yeah.
so 70% is life experience.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll ask about that. Do people ever have life experiences and interpret them incorrectly?
Yeah.
How do you know you're not that person?
Yeah, I think that is where it comes back to like the life experience and the history and that sort of stuff, where it's like, okay, not only has this happened to me, but there's other evidence that points me to that.
Yeah. If we can just
Yeah.
focus on like the one life experience, just like look at that variable
Yeah.
and like investigate that.
Yeah.
That kind of helps out.
Yeah. So how do I know that my life experience wasn't wrong?
Yeah. How do you know you interpreted it correctly? Like this happened
Yeah.
to you. Like how do you know like?
I think from like the information that I gathered. So like the life experience that happened, it lined up with what I was reading and believing.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
It was able to confirm what
Yeah.
what you already believe.
Yeah, they were in line with each other.
Okay. Do people have life experiences that are similarly as powerful as yours
Yeah.
and not believe that Jesus is the way to heaven?
Yes.
Say that I'm a person, right, and I'm trying to figure out, what to believe. And I listen to what you have to say,
Yeah.
and then I hear this other person who says a very similar thing, but like theirs is not Jesus. It's some other claim. It could be another religion. It could be anything.
Yeah.
How would I be able to figure out which of you was was closer to the truth? Like how would I figure that out?
Yeah. I think I feel like for me, like if we're talking about like other religions or other things, like if they felt like, okay, this might be a different religion or something like that, I feel like then you have to look into what those religions believe.
An internal critique.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And so like I as a external person who doesn't have an opinion yet, I'm just looking and I hear your experience, I hear this other person's experience, I'd have to do an internal critique of the two beliefs.
Yes. Yeah.
Have you ever done that internal critique?
I have, yes.
Yeah. What did you find?
I think it just gave me even more reason to believe what I had believed, which was cool in my case. But yeah, I think there were things that I felt like were missing from other sets of beliefs that I had in Jesus that led me to believe that further, I would say.
Okay. All right. Good. So I'm evolving this thought experiment.
Yeah, you're good.
So it's you and James, right? And I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out what's what I should believe, right? And so you tell me that you had this experience and like life changing, brings you like that 70%, like it's big, right? And then James tells me about a similar experience, but his is to like a different faith. We'll just say Islam, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so like and he says that I asked him about, hey, James, like this, this experience that brought you to Islam, why? And he tells me that, it confirms everything that I've learned about the Quran. It brings, it makes perfect sense of what I experienced, and So you're saying that, and he's saying a very
Yeah.
similar thing. How can I tell which one of you, is closer to the truth? Because they're
Yeah.
both using the same reason, and he's coming to a different conclusion,
Yeah.
the opposite conclusion, that Jesus is not the way to heaven.
Yeah. I think that's examining the different faiths again and determining like, okay, these two people had these experiences and they say that this is the correct way. And so then what do do you believe that one is more right than the other? Does that
Okay.
make sense?
Yeah. Well, we'd continue the internal critique.
Yeah.
So, do you think I could use, as an independent person, I could say that the experience is evidence for me? Because I haven't had the experience. I just see two people that have different experiences.
Yeah, like that person's experiences would be enough for you. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm asking like, would it be enough for me as or whoever's an independent person looking at the two of you?
Yeah.
Could I use the experience itself as evidence because you're both reaching different conclusions?
I would say yes if you had other evidence as well. I don't think that one thing on its own maybe would be
Okay.
the only thing to build your conclusion off of. Like, for example, if you took my evidence and you were like, okay, I think Jesus might be the thing, then I would encourage you to go and look into more information on that.
Yeah, figure out more.
Yeah.
So, James had a similar experience,
Yeah.
and he came to an opposite conclusion,
Yep.
right? How would James know that he came to that opposite conclusion? Would it just be like, besides internal critique? Well, actually, let me rephrase.
Yeah.
Because you answered that one earlier. Would James be right to use personal experience as evidence?
Yeah, I think yeah, he's allowed to use that personal experience as his evidence, if that makes sense.
So you think that's a good reason for him to believe that Jesus is not the way to heaven?
Sorry.
Oh, good.
I think it's part of a belief. Like if he felt like, okay, that leads me to believe more in Islam, I understand that. I think for me it's I never want to force anybody else to believe a different religion, but to examine, for me it's there's the theology of different religions doesn't add up to me.
Yeah.
So that's
well
yeah.
he's just saying that he had an experience, and
Okay.
after it he's convinced that Jesus is not the way to heaven.
Yeah.
Right? And he says that the reason he believes it is because of his experience.
Yeah.
Is that a good reason for him to think that Jesus is not the way to heaven?
If it's experience alone, then no. I think you need other things
Okay.
to go with your experience.
Okay. All right. Do you? Would you where would you go next?
Can you think of a verification method
Yeah.
that you're using to support your belief
Yeah.
that someone who believes in something opposite cannot also use?
Yeah. Like just for religion or for anything?
Anything.
Their belief.
Your specific belief. Is there any validation tool that exists that you can use to prove yours that someone else can't use to prove the opposite?
I think yes, but let me think about it for a second.
Yeah.
I don't know that it's exactly the same. I think that people can use similar methods and end up at different places. In the sense of like, so the way that I would like check something is like, do all the facts like add up with each other? Like in line with like historical information. And so I think somebody else could take that with like Islam, for example, and say, okay, this is what I believe it says historically and my own experiences. So I think we could use the same things to get to different conclusions. So maybe no is my answer to that.
Okay, so no, like, so do you think that personal experience is a good reason to justify 70% belief?
For faith, yes.
For Jesus is the way to heaven?
Yes, I would say yes.
Okay, why? Because like we're just focusing on one reason,
Yeah.
and that one is life experience.
Yeah.
Why is it a good reason if you can reach one conclusion based on that, and
Yeah.
he reaches with the same reason
Yeah.
the opposite conclusion?
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. I think, like, from my perspective, like your own, I don't know how to phrase it. Like, I believe that, like, what happened to me was the Lord, like, showing me who He was. And so I think your personal experiences, whether it's in God or whatever, that God is going to take that and use that to draw you closer to Him. Does that make sense?
A little bit.
Okay.
You're doing okay? You want me to keep going?
Yeah,
or
I'm
you
good.
wanna end? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I didn't really get. I don't know if I understood because
Yeah,
like,
you're good.
I was saying that why is it a good reason? Why does that? So we have the same two people using the same reason to reach the opposite belief.
Yeah.
I think you said no, it's not in and of itself a good reason to believe it.
Yeah.
Because it can reach those opposite conclusions, right? If that's the case, do you think that you believing it
Yeah.
70% because of what you experienced is a good, justifies your level of confidence? Do you think that reason sufficiently justifies you being 70% confident?
Yeah. I would still say yes,
Okay.
I think.
Why so?
I think from how, like, just personal what happened to me was, like, for me it was like literally saving me from death.
Yeah.
And so that feels more worth it to me than any piece of like other information.
Yep. Okay. Well, the thing is, James told me about his experience,
Yeah.
and he said, you know, Allah saved him from death,
Yeah.
right? And like from this, he learned, it really changed him, and he says he can't be wrong about it. Is he justified in being so confident based on that?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. All right, I think we did that one real good. Do you think, do you want me to go to another point, or do you want to leave it off there?
Yeah, whatever you want.
I'm asking you. Do you want to keep going?
Sure.
Okay. After personal experience, what is next best reason?
like historical evidence.
Oh, by the way, like it is like at the top of the hour, just so you know. And it doesn't
is
matter to
5?
me. Doesn't matter to me
Ooh,
at all.
okay, I do have to go then. I'm sorry.
I do remember you saying that, and time flies.
No, you're good.
Okay, we'll leave it there.
Yeah. Thank you.
That was real good.
Thank
Do you have any questions for me?
No, I don't think so.
All right. That was awesome. You did really good.
Thank you.
I'm throwing, they're tough questions.
No,
They
you're
They
good.
really are.
You're good.
All right.
Hopefully that was helpful.
Anything else? Yeah, that was good stuff.
Okay, great.
That mac and cheese is badass.
I can't believe that, like, that's really healthy for you. And that's what, like, I find wild about it.
Yeah, that's. It's deliciously skeptical.
Yeah, it's got like I think it has like 70 grams protein in it. It has no fat. Like it's very low fat. Like it's like I don't know, like 7 grams fat in like the whole thing,
Wow.
and like 70 grams protein, and then like similar like a little bit less carbs.
Guilt-free comfort food.
Yep. Yeah, like it's fantastic.
Nice.
It took me a while to like to nail the.
Dial it in.
Yeah, and it's got just kind of all the spinach as well, which is good because potassium.
This camera died.
Ooh,
I'm not sure when, but that's okay. We've got the other ones here.
do you want to charge it up or?
I'm not sure why it died. It wasn't because of battery. It just happens sometimes.
Okay. How do you think that went? I think it went okay, and I didn't know where to go towards the end of the outsider test. I didn't, because I'd never done a real outsider test like that.
Okay.
Because I think at one point she said, no, it's not a good reason. And then we went back on that. Yes, it is a good reason for me. It's not a good reason. It is a good reason for him. It was sort of back and forth, which I think is fine. Like I don't need to like change your mind, right? What do you think about that?
I guess something that could have been explored is if you're coming to this conclusion using reason X,
Yep,
and what was your buddy's name?
James.
James is using the same reason
Yep,
to come to conclusion Y.
yep.
What does that say about the reliability of
That's the question. Yep.
the reason?
I should have asked that one. What does that say about the reliability
Yeah.
of that?
And I'm still
Yep,
interested in a verification method that she's using
Yep,
that James could not also use.
yep.
And if you can't think of one, how confident should we be in conclusions that can also be used to arrive at false conclusions?
What should we? How confident should we be about reasons
Yeah.
that can
The
lead
sufficiency
to
of the reasons.
the sufficiency of reasons that could lead to opposite
Yeah.
conclusions? Yeah. And what
But
was
I
it?
thought that you did. I saw a lot of reflection.
I think I got a lot of reflection. I don't think I did very well. Like I in like the general direction I was going was good, right? Doing outsider test there was, I think that was the right way to go. I didn't tie the bow, right? I like brought up the subject, but I didn't. What does it say about that reason? If it can lead to if it can lead to opposite conclusions.
Yeah.
I didn't hammer. I didn't ask the.
Yep. And how confident should we be using reasons like that?
How common should we be? It sounds so simple, but then like you think about it, and like I'm thinking like, okay, she's saying that it is a good reason and it's not a good reason, and it's a good reason for him, but it leads to the opposite conclusion, and like I'm thinking about all this and like, and not what does it say about that reason that it can, you know, they can lead to the opposite. Then different people can use it to arrive to the opposite conclusions. And then
If you weren't using good reasons, would you want to know?
yep. I think I didn't ask that one.
Oh, you did?
I don't know. I don't think
Oh, you did.
I
Okay.
did.
That might be a little much.
You think so?
No.